A hot axle box in a railway vehicle occurs when inadequate wheel bearing lubrication or mechanical flaws, such as bearing failure, cause an increase in temperature. If left undetected, the bearing temperature can continue to rise until there is a bearing burn-off, which may lead to a derailment. A hot axle or hot box is the term used when an axle bearing overheats on a piece of railway rolling stock. The term is derived from the journal bearing trucks used before the mid-20th century. Hot axle arises due to overloading and faulty conditions of the bearing. During a hot axle incident, the wheel becomes very hot, and the movement of the train may stop sometimes if the jamming of the bearing happens. Let's learn the different components of cartridge tapered roller bearing. Cap screw, locking plate, end cap, seal wear ring, grease seal, cone assembly, spacer and cup. Inside the cone assembly, there are three parts: roller, cage and cone. Bearings are manufactured with all the components pre-assembled. Additionally, an axle end cap, a locking plate and cap screws are provided with each bearing. Causes of hot axle. The following can be the reason for hot axle: defects in lubricant like bad quality of grease, excessive quantity of grease, non-availability or inadequate quantity of grease, and foreign material contained within the grease. Mechanical disorder like defects in the journal, defective bearing, defects in the axle box, broken cage, oozing out of grease due to perished rubber seals. Irregular loading such as uneven loading, overloading, and some miscellaneous. Reasons are incorrect fitment, improper mounting, improper handling, excessive temperature or heating, excessive or uneven loading, and impact loading. There are different technologies has been incorporated for the identification of hot axle. Rolling in examination is one of them. Rolling in examination, the train examining staff shall take up positions on both sides of the line short of the platform on which the train is to be received. This will enable them to observe the condition of the running gear as the train passes, and they will also be able to note defects such as flat places on tires, hot axles, broken springs, defective brake gear, etc. Appropriate action on such defects shall be taken thereafter. These on-screen checklists need to be taken care while observing the rolling in examination. These will help us for easy identification of symptoms of hot box. Non-contact infrared thermometers are widely used in Indian Railways to monitor the axle box temperature. The table shown here are the special instructions for axle box feeling of coaches. This table demonstrates the special instructions for axle box feeling of wagons. The two technologies which are widely used in Indian Railways for the automatic detection of CTRB failures are Hot Axle Box Detector or HABD and Railbum. Hot Axle Box Detector, Hot Bearing Detector, sometimes also known as a hot box detector, is a technology that monitors the bearing temperature as the train passes by. Detection is achieved on a real-time basis so that a hot bearing can be traced, monitored, and an alarm can be raised if the temperature exceeds the alarm settings. Railbomb is an acoustic-based axle bearing defect detector that provides early warning and trending of bearing health, which could help on preventing future bearing-related catastrophic incidents. The both systems works automatically and send alerts and to control centers and messages to mobile phones of concerned officials. Let us discuss the preventive measures to be taken at ROH sheds, line to avoid hot axle. The earthing in wagons for welding should be done properly and very close to the welding area so that electric current does not pass through the bearing, causing arcing between the rollers and raceways, leading to failure of CTRB. The lateral play of the bearing must be checked each time, and ultrasonic testing of all axles should be done. Do not reuse locking plates. All tabs of the locking plate should be properly bent up against the flats of the cap screw heads. End cap screws should be properly tightened with the help of a torque wrench at a specified torque of 40 kgf. Load wear zone area of the bearing must be changed during fitment. Damaged outer cup bearings should not be allowed in service. It must be ensured by stamping particulars of the grease seal that the CTRB would not complete more than 72 months by the time it becomes due for the next POH or ROH. Overhauling cycle of new CTRB to take place at a 72-month interval. Let's see the duties of different railway departments as a preventive measure to avoid hot axle. Duties of station staff. Check for any symptoms like smell, smoke, whistling sound and flame while train passing. Exhibit hand danger signal immediately. Put back the departure signal. Advise loco pilot through VHF set to stop examine the train. Alert the gate man in advance to stop the train. Advise the controller to arrange to stop the train as early as possible. Advise the station master of station in advance not to allow any train in section in opposite direction. Duties of train crew. Look out while running on curves for any symptoms unusual. Stop the train by first means. Examine the affected vehicle. Exercise your discretion and take decision. Guard should watch carefully the signals exhibited by station staff, gatemen, gangman, other railway staff and act immediately to control the speed. Duties of P-way and signal and telecommunication staff. Be vigilant while train is passing through in section. Inform about any unusual noticed in train to the nearest station master or controller. Show danger signal and try to alert the guard by shouting or waving. Arrange to stop the train immediately. Duties of gateman. Watch the passing through trains carefully. Exhibit danger signal and alert the guard to stop the train immediately. Advise the station master to stop the train immediately. Duties of section controller. Arrange to stop the train if hot axle on train is reported by field staff and station staff. Inform to concerned departments and get it examined by guard and driver or station staff. Train should be stopped and checked as soon as any of symptoms noticed. Such trains should be allowed to enter station only after it is checked. Duties of C&W staff. Carry out carefully rolling in and rolling out examination on all trains at nominated stations or yards. Feel the axle boxes immediately with non-contact temperature measurement gun on arrival of trains. Detach the vehicle if hot axle is noticed.
Brake binding is an unintended application of brakes partially or totally obstructing the rotation of the wheel. Causes of brake binding: failures in pneumatic system, failures in brake rigging. Failures in pneumatic system: leakage in BP main line, leakage in parts connected to BP line, overcharging of control reservoir, malfunctioning of distributor valve. Failures in brake rigging: defects in brake cylinder, defects and mishandling of hand brake, jamming of brake caliper in LHB coaches, defects in brake levers and truss beams in conventional ICF coaches. Human failure: not releasing the DV manually during loco changing and loco reversal, use of non-calibrated pressure gauge, not draining AR during air brake testing. Use calibrated gauges. Drain out auxiliary reservoir during air brake testing. During leakage test, it should be ensured that leakage is limited to 0.6 kg per centimeter square in 3 minutes in LHB coach and 0.2 kg per centimeter square in 1 minute in ICF coach. During sensitivity test, it should be ensured that brake is applying when BP drop by 0.6 kg per centimeter square in 6 seconds. During insensitivity test, it should be ensured that brake is not applying when BP drop by 0.3 kg per centimeter square in 60 seconds. Ensure that brake releasing timing is 15 to 20 seconds. Ensure manual releasing of DV during loco change and loco reversal. Pull the quick release lever of DV. Rotate the isolating cork of affected bogie provided at the brake panel. Loosen the hexagonal nut of the brake cylinder. Pull the quick release lever of DV. Isolate FP and BP. Isolate DV. If not released, pull the latch of the brake cylinder and rotate the resetting plate in clockwise direction. After releasing, close the isolating corks of both brake cylinders, and work the train.